Hello everybody, I am Agraj and in this video I am going to share my class 12 board journey. So you will feel so astonished and amazed after the completion of this video because I have actually prepared for class 12 board only in 4 to 5 days. So I feel that you are feeling shocked, but it's reality. I will tell you that how I prepared for class 12 board. In the same way, if you want to know my class 12 percentage, then you can ask me that question in the comment box. I will really like to reply to that particular question that you will ask me. But till then, let's start our discussion. So, if I talk about myself, so you come to know that I have recently given my NEET UG examination, and I also given my class 12 board exam this year. That is, I was a fresher. So now our today's discussion will be based upon how I prepared for class 12 board and how I actually scored above 80%. So it's very important. Now, if I talk about myself, so till from the beginning, I was interested in preparing for the competitive exam, which was NEET, that is National Eligibility Common Entrance Test. But as my class 12 actually started to go on, then obviously from month of June to the month of January, I have never touched even a single book for preparation of class 12 board. It doesn't mean that I actually didn't study. I studied daily for about 10 to 12 hours of NEET exam. That is, I was interested in studying the competitive examination syllabus. So I was preparing fully for NEET exam. You will love actually at the end that I prepare for class 12 board only just within 1 day to 2 days. So you will got shocked. I will share you all the journey. Okay, don't worry. So what happens actually in class 11th, I didn't study about the class 12 board, but I was absolutely dedicated till from beginning about my NEET. So I didn't spend even a single day in doing time pass. Obviously there were some important personal reasons and distractions which actually tried to disrupt my study, and hence I have to spend 1 month. That is, actually I have to give the 1 month gap, and due to that 1 month gap I also suffer from the severe pain and agony, and as a result of which I had covered huge backlog, and that was responsible for me to actually score slightly lesser marks in my NEET exam. But I will share with you the all distraction through which I had actually gone in these 2 years in my separate video. But in this video, we are going to discuss in detail about how I manage and how I score actually the good or average percentage in class 12, which are required. Okay, so as I had already told you, one of the most important thing that in class 11th I had studied class 11th only. In class 12 till from the beginning I was interested in only studying the theoretical point of physics, chemistry and biology according to the computation point of view only. I was not interested in learning derivation and each and everything. Okay, so actually what happens, you come to know that the board examination for CBSE have been started this year on, if I am correct, then I feel that examination for class 12 CBSE board in this year 2023 had started on 16th of February, that is 16th February. But actually I was not a CBSE student, I was from the state board, and actually my state was Maharashtra. So the commonly known book type of class 12 board for Maharashtra state board student is HSC. So if I use the word HSC, you have to remember it depicts the 12th board of Maharashtra. Okay, so please remember, SSC means class 10th Maharashtra board, HSC means class 12th Maharashtra board. So actually my 12th HSC examination was from 21st of Feb 2023, and our first paper was that of English. So actually what happens, you will got law that I have started to prepare for English on 19th of Feb. Actually I spent 2 days only in order to prepare for English, because in our class 12th HSC board English textbook you have to not only prepare for the lessons, but you have to also prepare for the appreciations of poem. And not only that, but if you study carefully, then you will notice that the last unit in class 12 board examination from English always comes on the basis of novel. So if you refer the class 12 HSC board English textbook, then you will notice that out of different units given in this book. The last unit is actually based upon novels, and there are 4 novels given in this unit, and it is a regular trend that there is a section D, that is last section from English board paper, that is HSC board paper, always comes from this unit, and it is compulsory that the question of 4 mark is always asked from every novel. That is, there are 4 novels in last unit, and in section D of class 12th English board paper, it is of 16 marks, and it is wholly based upon what you have studied in the novel section. And out of this 4, whole novel will be asked in your exam, and it is also fixed that from each novel the question, which may be either match the column, fill in the blanks, answer in one word, or detailed answer, or writing short notes, or answer in brief, will be asked for about 4 marks. So you can say there are 4 novels, and from one novel the question or questions of about 4 marks are asked or is asked. Therefore the total marks that you can got if you study novel will be 16 out of 16. So it's very important. I actually was very weak in learning novel because I never or didn't touch novel in my life, in my past life, and you come to know that I was not interested in learning English because yes, I can talk English properly, I know each and everything about English, but I don't like to learn English, and I don't like to learn grammar. Okay, I know the proper grammar, I know basic grammar, and by using the basic grammar I can talk, and you are seeing me that I can talk English slightly in a good way and in better way. I am not over smarting, but I am telling you that without having basic concept cleared in English, I can talk properly. In the same way, if your grammar is weak, then also don't worry, you have to remember that learning language and learning its grammar, both these two are totally different things. If you don't know the grammar of that particular language except for basic grammar, for example, if you have to study any language, then it is necessary for you to know the alphabet and their representation. It's actually not a part of grammar, but it's actually a basic part to learn any language. Then if you know this thing, then it is not necessary for you to touch any grammatical portion. Okay, so it's not a topic of discussion now. I will discuss on this topic in my next video, but now this video based upon my class 12 board journey. So let's proceed our discussion. So actually what happened, my English paper was on 21st of February 2023, and actually you come to know that English is also one of the important paper, or English is one of the important subject in class 12. And as I had already told you, the paper was actually of 80 marks. Actually the paper, written paper, is of 80 marks, and 20 marks are given from the practical. So in English also the paper was of 80 marks, and if I tell you in detail, then actually I was extremely nervous a day before day, because I was very teased, and I was actually very nervous that how can I cover such huge syllabus only within 2 days. I was actually in depression and anxiety in that day, because English is also, if I talk about class 12 HSC English, then there are challenging things that you have to cover up, because you have to not only learn poems. Actually there is no need to learn poems, but if you see and if you actually try to carry out the previous year analysis of class 12 HSC board English paper, then you will notice one of the most important thing, that it is mandatory for you to learn the explanation of poem along with the name of poet, and it is necessary for you to actually have a quick idea about how can you write down the poetic description, or how can you actually carry out the appreciation of a poem in your own words. It's a challenging task, because you come to know that if a particular poem is given to you, then obviously it is very impossible, or it is nearly impossible for you to actually write down in your own words that what a poem is saying, because you come to know that lines in poem convey a different meaning than their actual meaning. So it is necessary for you to actually prepare for that from your home. As I had already told you, one of the most important thing, and that was actually there are about 10 poems in class 12 HSC board syllabus, and then there were 10 chapters, and there were 10 chapters related to the writing skill, and again there were 6 novels in the last unit. So you can say that the class 12 English syllabus is also very vast. So actually what happens, you will got shocked that there were 10 poems, and you have to learn the appreciation of these 10 poems, and out of these 10 poems only 2 poems will be asked in your exam. But obviously you cannot able to predict that which poem will come in your exam. Therefore actually what happened, I have to learn the appreciation of all 10 poems along with their rhythmic scheme, name of poet and their title. So it is very daunting and difficult task, but I have completed that. Not only that, but I also learn and read the chapter. Obviously if I talk about lessons, so there is very low chances that the question will come directly from the passage, because passage is given to you and you have to find out the answer to all those particular question. But as I had already told you that if you are completely unfamiliar with the passage which will become in your exam, then you will be unable to solve any question, because there is also a rule of time management. Because most of the people or even your friend will be telling you that please don't read any lesson from class 12 English, because the passage is already given in the main exam, and hence you can easily find out the answer to the question which is asked. But it is wrong, their opinion is wrong, because if you are not familiar with that particular passage or chapter, then you will be unable to write down the answer on your own, because it's slightly difficult. Therefore it is necessary for you to actually go from home by doing slight reading. Okay, so you have to do the slight reading, and by doing slight reading you can easily face the new question which may come in your exam from that particular passage. Okay, not only that, but you come to know at the end of a passage there are some questions like what is a synonymous word for this particular word, what is the an antonym of that particular word. So there are some questions which are asked from your vocabulary, and as already told you my vocabulary is too weak, therefore I actually attempt those questions on my own. So not only that, but you come to know that there are some words along with their meaning given on the margin of the pages of NEET 12th HSC English textbook. So you have to also learn their meanings. It's very important, and I know that it's a very difficult task in English that you have to do. Not only that, but I have to also cover grammatical portion. There were some basic chapters, for example active and passive voice, tenses, degree of comparison. Then we have rest of the chapters. I cannot able to remember now the name of these all the chapters at present, but yes, you have to complete the basic grammar also, because the question will come automatically at the end of the passage. Okay, so not only that, but there are different types of writing skills given in your class 12th English textbook, and those writing skills were absolutely very difficult for express, because till from class 10 you have also only studied some writing skills, for example writing a letter, writing a passage, writing or expressing particular thing in the form of verb. So these are the common modes of expressing anything, or these are the common modes of writing skill. But if you move on class 12, then you will notice that there are different types of writing skill which are added recently, for example making a ballad, and there are many different names of writing skills that I have forgotten now, but you can check that particular thing given in your English class 12 HSC textbook. So actually what happens, at the time of exam I was completely blank, because I know that I can write on my own, but what can I do? I can write on my own passage, speech, uh, then we have the verb, etc. But how can I write ballad? That is, I ever not got a time in order to complete writing skill also. So at the time of exam what happened, the question came from the topic that I have not covered, because I actually dropped writing skill for an exam. I never covered about the pattern in which you have to write passage, ballad, etc. Therefore actually what happened, I was extremely nervous at that time, and as a result of which you will got shocked that there was a question to write a ballad, and actually you will laugh now that I was completely unaware of what is ballad. I actually got confused in my mind, and at the time of examination you know that there is examination pressure, and there is also a very huge pressure of how to manage time, because you come to know that completing the language paper is very difficult in class 12 boards. So actually what happens, that I was thinking in my mind that why what the question paper is saying, that what is ballad. I never heard of what is ballad, and I don't know the meaning of ballad. Then how can I write about what the question is saying, but it's my good hobby that if I can't able to solve any question, then also I write down anything in paper, because I have understood that you have to actually write something about this particular topic. I have not understand the meaning of ballad, but even though I have understood that what I have to actually do in this question, so I have actually write down that particular ballad. I also don't know the meaning of this word now also, so I have expressed each and everything in my own words, and I feel that examiner had given me full marks on that particular topic also. So have you understood now? You can actually get full marks in board exam even though you don't know about anything. You have to only write, but that particular writing must be grammatically correct. If it is not grammatically correct, then you will not get full marks. So as I had already told you, if you are talking and if your writing is like me, then you can easily score good marks in English. So if I talk about myself, so I had already told you that what I have done. So there were some surprising questions which were asked in my exam, and I actually write down each and everything on my own, and obviously I was extremely shocked that I have scored slightly good marks in English than other subjects. And you will also got shocked that in novel section I have actually completed the 3 novels only at the time of examination. The examination was on 11 a.m. and the reporting time on the center was 10:30 a.m. and at the time of examination I have started to read that particular topic. Actually on that day I woke up on 3 a.m. in the morning, or you can say 3 a.m. in midnight, and I have covered 3 novels quickly. And actually I forget to cover 4th novel, as a result of which I lost my 4 marks. Therefore you can understand that it is actually a pain from which I suffer from now also, because of my this way of studying English I lost my 4 marks. But even though in spite of losing these 4 marks, you come to know that my English score was 87 marks out of 100. So it is surprising because I have not covered anything, but even though I have scored 87 out of 100, so it is a great score for me because I have prepared English only 2 days before exam, and also even though I actually score good marks. Okay, now in the same way if I talk about my physics, so you come to know that class 12 physics is not only about writing theory, but you have to also draw the diagrams of some important machines. Not only that, but it is necessary for you to actually know that how a particular formula come. You will automatically got shocked that in physics I have not prepared for even a single chapter during examination. You will got automatically shocked that I have only prepared only 4 chapters out of 16. I have not prepared for other chapters, but even though I scored about 80 marks out of 100 in physics, it's miracle. Yes, it's absolutely miracle, because I had already told you class 12 board exam doesn't check your mind power. Class 12 board exam only check that whether you can write and explain a particular concept or not. So you will get shocked that automatically I have scored 80 marks out of 100. I am actually not telling you lie. If you are feeling any guilty thing, then I will actually upload a mark sheet of my class 12 board exam tomorrow. Don't worry about anything. Okay, I will actually tell you, and I am actually telling you reality. Okay, now if I talk about chemistry, I have do the same thing. I was not ready even for a single chapter, but even though if you ask me the mark that I obtained, so the answer is 85 marks out of 100. For biology was my favorite subject, but at the end I actually didn't revise any chapter. I revised only 2 to 3 chapters, for example human reproduction, reproductive health, etc. But even though in biology I have scored 87 marks out of 100. Now if I talk about freshwater fish culture, so you come to know that 100 marks are given by the school teacher itself. Therefore there is a paper of only 100 marks, 50 marks fishery 1, 50 marks fishery 2. So in those papers you will automatically got shocked, because it's a time for you to fall down on floor. I have not prepared even a single thing in fishery, because it was really a new subject. Even though I have scored 77 marks out of 100, I know that these are not good marks, but according to me my expectation was I will score around 30 to 40 marks. But even though that particular mark have been increased from 30 to 40 to 77, that is, these marks are nearer to 80, so it's also a very good score. So these all miracles happen with myself even though I have not done anything. And if you like to ask me my board percentage, then please write down that particular question in comment box. I will definitely like to reply to you. So don't worry about anything. Till then, You know that what's your duty? Your duty is to subscribe my channel, like my videos, and share my videos with your friends, because they also come to know that how there are people like me who actually prepare in a very bad way for boards, but even though they can score above 80. So I am actually literally, what can I say, I cannot able to say anything at this time, but I am not over smarting. It's absolutely a miracle which happens with me. But you have to remember, again I am going to tell you the most important point that you have to keep it in your mind from this video is that board exam actually checks your power of writing. Board exam doesn't check your intelligence. Board exam tries to check whether you can explain that particular concept asked in a question in your own words systematically or not. So if really you want to score above 80% or above 90% in class 12 board, the only thing that you have to inculcate in your mind is that you have to develop your hobby to write down anything in your own words. It's a very important thing. I always given a first preference to this technique, and if you really want to do so, then you will follow this technique for at least 1 month. After following this technique for at least 1 month, you can score good in class 12 board. So till then, okay, bye bye, love you all, take care.